Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate all of you that are here. I know that this is a very difficult time and a trying time, but we're going to somehow weather through all of this. In the meantime, I just really want to thank our nurses and our doctors for allowing us to participate. It is with the confidence of the medical people that we proceed, and it's been outstanding, truly outstanding, and it's scary, with all the things that are going on. But I have ultimate confidence in our medical staff. In the meantime, I just want to give a big shout out to Coach Yano and the gifts that he's given us. And we're talking about the chop chop, and knowing that we're all about the chop. And he's gonna. I'm so happy that he's here. I can tell you that, yeah, it's just like where he should have been, and this is great. And in the meantime, he has a game with Illinois, I think, tomorrow, and so let's all cheer for him. And then Coach Peichel has done an outstanding job. He has just blown the socks off of everybody, and the players are practicing hard, and they are. I want to congratulate them because they are in the top 24, and that's been some time, as you know, that we have our Rutgers basketball team in the top 24, but it's not without us knowing that they've worked extremely hard. The players are together, and it's going to be a special year going forward. Now, what am I talking about? We've got 7 freshmen, right? 7 freshmen, and it's the most beautiful arrangement of freshmen because they're not scared. They don't know what they don't know, and so I look at them and I think. I remember Tasha Pointer and I were talking the other night, and I asked her. I remember that when they were all at my house and they announced who Rutgers was going to play, and it happened to have been Tennessee, and she and the rest of the freshmen were like, yeah, we're so glad, that's great, you're playing Tennessee. And me and my assistant looked at her and like, God darn, it's just the number 1 team in the country. What are you talking about? But that's beautiful, and that's the mindset. Really and truly, that's the mindset of our freshmen, and that's along with Arella Garantes, who has come back. She's come back with a vengeance. Her mindset is that she wants to be the best that there possibly can be. She's one of only 6 Rutgers players that have averaged double-digit scoring and rebounding. I mean, it's amazing. And she's come back as what she would say unfinished business. And so, she's gotten in shape. She works hard anyway. But that, along with Takia Mack, who is the Defensive Player of the Year, and I believe that Mayel Giles, believe me, she's gonna do a heck of a lot this year, a lot of scoring, and then of course I know that Zipporah Broughton, I think that she has to be the highlight for me right now because I look at her every day and I'm like stunned with the way that she has approached the year. I thought that she was kind of took things in a kind of light sort of way. But she is real serious about how she plays the game. She's extremely patient. She's helped and monitored and guided Diamond. She's just done a great job, and she knows that we need every last one of those freshmen to play. And they're anxious and excited. In fact, something happened a couple months ago, and I think the players thought that I was saying that we were going to cancel the season, and all of a sudden, one of our players started to cry, and I looked around, and the mother, kept rubbing the player's back, and so she said, yeah, did you decide that we're not going to play this year? And I said, oh, no, that's not the case. So No, they're all anxious, and I'm anxious, and we're anxious to get started.
All right, we'll go to the group for questions. Let's start off with James Cratch from the Star Ledger.
Hey, Vivian, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. So, two-parter, I guess. One, how has the program kind of handled the virus? And the second thing is, I know you're supposed to play on the 25th. There's no game yet. When do you actually think you guys will get on the court?
You know what? It might sound strange for me to say that, but I wish I knew. I don't know. But to tell you the truth, we're supposed to have games, but so many things have been happening. But our staff, the medical staff, Pat, Pat and Sarah have been doing a phenomenal job of preparing us and getting the best medical care that there can possibly be, and giving us the opportunity to compete at the highest level. So it's just else is going on in this world, and that's where all of us are shaking our heads and don't know what's going on. But supposedly, we're supposed to be playing, I think, around the 24th or 25th. I don't pay attention to that so much because I kind of am always so focused on when that we play, and more important that I feel that we're ready to play. And quite honestly, I never feel that we're ready to play. So we'll come around. We will make it.
All right, we'll go next question. We'll go to Ralph Bednarczyk, our radio play-by-play. You can unmute, Ralph.
Good morning, Coach. With Arella and everything she's achieved, and we know that she doesn't. No one has to motivate her. But where have you and the coaching staff perhaps challenged her in any aspect, any finite aspect of her game, to take her to the level that she wants to take herself? Where have you guys challenged her, to step forward for 2021?
Yeah, with that note, she wants to be more consistent in the long ball. She's always been an outstanding rebounder, push tempo, and definitely has been a key on our 55 defense. So she is going to shoot the 3-pointer a little bit more than what she has done already. And of course, she's looking at the many players that we've had in the league. I mean, we've had so many players that have been playing in the league, and I appreciate the fact that she knows that that she is going to present and give to everybody what it means to be a Scarlet Knight. And when we are looking at Scarlet Knights that have been playing 10 years in the league, in fact, that Benaiah Laney was most improved player, and then it was followed by Kalia Copper, in the WNBA. And so I think that Arella joining that group is just going to add to the resumes of many of the players that we've already had.
Coach, I think I'm jumping in here now to take the driver's seat from Matt. He's going to hop over with the players. So we'll take our next question from Dom Savino.
Okay.
Hey, Coach. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. I have a question about the freshmen. You mentioned you have a huge freshman class this year. Just generally, how have they done getting acclimated to school? What's your impressions of them in the first few months of their first season?
You know what? Let me say this. I appreciate the fact that they're together. They stick together. That's one. In fact, I just it made me recall several things. But they stick together. They adapt, and they have adapted to this COVID situation, and more importantly, the virtual classrooms and the whole thing. Do they like it? They're not crazy about it. But I feel bad for everybody that has been sequestered because that's the way it is now, and they in particular have got to be restricted to so many things, and it's unfair. It seems to me that you would love to play basketball or football or whatever, and play the sports and get out in the open and just play, but that's not the case. But all of them are doing that, but I think that that's better done, with the help of the upperclassmen, and certainly I would even say with Zabor, because she's our leader in on the academic side. She truly is really focused on in terms of what she needs to do.
Coach, we're going to take our next question from Chris Eisman.
Vivian, how do you think the way that the last season ended, with obviously the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament taken away from them, how do you think that has sort of impacted the way that the players have come back this year and their drive and motivation to continue what they started last year?
I wish we could bring them all back. Like you have KK Saunders, who didn't have an opportunity to play, and last year she was, injured, so she didn't get a chance to play last year. And so it's just hurtful that some of the players just did not get a chance. It's like, when you get ready to go to the prom and they canceled the prom, or you get ready to graduate and they canceled it. And so I feel bad for all of our young people. And I guess this world that we're living in today is telling us that we need to recognize that some of the touching things, like one of the things that I personally just resent, but I know that it's the only way we can do things, is that we can't touch them, like, no, there's no touching, there's just no encouragement, because I like to hug my players and touch them, and yet, we stand, at a distance, and, we say a cheer, but it seems so cold. It seems so cold, and so and they want to just be there, and it's a different day, it's a different day, but hopefully we're all rid of this and everybody can hug and be friends, be good again, and we can enjoy sports as we once did. But I admire the players because they're dealing with quite a bit. Can you imagine being in a dorm and then you can't even go over and visit your teammates? I mean, think about that. Think about that.
We're going to go to Alexander Carminati for the next question.
Hi, Coach. Alex Carbonati with the Daily Targum here. Overall, when it comes to entering your 26th season as the head coach for this Scarlet Knights team, because of the pandemic and everything that's going on, are there any certain precautions, any certain type of style that you're looking to implement into this new season coming up, as it's coming up very soon?
Yeah, it would be nice if we could do that, but to tell you the truth, we started relatively late, and to tell you, we not in the shape that we need to be in just yet. Honestly, we're just not. We're trying, but we're not. I mean, I think that we'll meet the deadline when we get ready to play, and we'll have enough people that are in the shape that they need to be so that we can go forward with this. But honestly, that whole thing. See, because I don't know if you realize it, but you realize that when the players were home during the summer, they couldn't practice. They couldn't practice. I mean, it's just like they couldn't practice. And so many of them came back to school. In fact, one of the more difficult situations that I've been involved with is that my assistant coach would say, "Okay, coach, just remember this is really not January. This is really not the time of year that you think it is. but it's like 2 months later. It's like, I'm trying to adjust to the times. And here's what I'm saying. I get very upset because I have written every practice, and I am very sure about exactly where we need to be at a very specific time in our season. And so that's kind of crazy, like, okay. And so we want to peel that back because we didn't have a summer. So I'm reminded that, okay, that wasn't the summer. This is really our summer. Like in December, in September, that's really beginning our summer. And so, and maybe as anxious as I am always anyway, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold up. We're behind. We got to go forward. But, I'm assured that we are not, and we're picking up things and learning a lot. And it's especially when you have seven freshmen, and but they're 7 joyful freshmen that are learning a lot and will be fine in the time to come.
Our next question is from Chris Nowalski.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Arella kind of had unfinished business. How impactful was it to get her back this season?
Arella was not happy, as you could tell. Probably she is driven to flat out get it done. I think that the Big Ten coaches may have voted for the best players or the scoring leaders in the Big Ten, but it was before our game against Iowa. And that was unfair because in that game against Iowa, that was the deciding factor right there. And Arella was truly, the Big Ten scoring leader, but she didn't get that honor of that. You know what I mean? So that's okay. She's driven, and we don't always get what we want or that we feel that we deserve. But as we've shared with her, because she's such a great competitor, she wouldn't walk away from that. She's gonna march in here and she's gonna assume that a lot of things have got to happen, and she knows the first thing that we need from her is we need her leadership, and we need her scoring, and we need her defense, and we need her to be the outstanding player that she has always been, because she can't do it by herself. We've got to chip in and get some things done ourselves. And I'm really happy. The freshmen, they're going to make an impact. They really truly are a tremendous impact, and we're just waiting for that.
Next question is from Tim Catafano.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? I hope you're well. Two quick questions. Mm-hmm. 2 quick questions for you. I know that you had kind of mentioned and talked about how the players really can't interact that much. So I know the freshmen coming in, they have a little bit of a challenge mixing with some of the players that are already on the team. So how have you been able to combat that with there being so much, physical distance between the players and not having as much time to bond with each other?
I'm glad you said that, and it's very true. This is real different. I think that we're going to see the effects of the distancing that we have got to do with a lot of our young people, because it is the way that it is. But no, you can't bond quite this in the same way. They can't have parties in the same way. Young people, want to get together, and then plus there's no one on campus. So, I feel bad. I feel bad for them. And and you would think that when you're going into especially your senior year, that you're used to the crowds and people cheering and because and that's the reason why I think that initially LeBron James was saying no, I don't want to play, because if we don't have the crowds, he didn't want to play. But we have no choice in this situation. But I was walking with Brian as we came off the arena and walked in, and they were saying, "Okay, this is where everybody's going to sit." That's really strange. I'm sure I'm going to adjust. But golly, what? Yeah, that it is what it is, and we're going to have to all that. I mean, this is going to be different. Yeah.
We're going to go to Howard Megdal with the next question.
I'm sorry?
Next question's from Howard.
Howard, okay.
Hey, Coach. Good to chat with you.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Always a pleasure. I want to talk a little bit about Arella's path from here to the WNBA draft specifically. And she comes to the return to you already north of 2% steal percentage, 3% block percentage. So, defensively, she's doing so much of what you want her to do at the next level. She also obviously dramatically increased her three-point percentage up near 38.5%.
Mm-hmm.
What, if anything, do you see as what she needs to add between now and when her name gets called next year to get to where she should be? And do you think she has a chance to be the first name called next year?
She has a chance. It's wow. That's interesting. It's a loaded question. She could be the first name, but I hesitate to put that on her because I don't want her to feel bad if it wasn't. Because we've had Olympians. You know that. With the Cappy Bond Extra or Essence Carsons or Mattia Javon, those players. And Arella is every bit as good as all of them. And in fact, with that said, Arella, has a higher scoring average than all of them. But with that said, what does she need to do? She needs to be consistent because I'm sure that they're going to, especially if she's being drafted to a team that has already been successful, then they're going to look for her to, yes, increase her three-point shooting, yes, play some great defense, and they know that they're going to get a great defensive player on that, and she's bright. She's extremely bright on that side of it. But she's got to. I think that if she would have a little bit more assists, I think that she can do a better job of assisting, and you'll see this coming up. For example, she Diamond Johnson is an outstanding player. I think that you may have seen that she was one of the few players that were invited to the Allen Iverson, the men's team, right? So, but the beautiful thing about Diamond as well as Arella is that they're not competing against each other. They're competing to play with each other. And Arella, what does she need to do? She needs to come up with, fill every stat line, do a better job of her turnovers to assists, but I don't think that she is going to have nearly as many turnovers because she's going to be able to put the ball in other people's hands that can take the pressure off of her. And so we're going to play her sometimes as a point guard, and we did a few times last year. We'll play her sometimes as a point guard, and we'll play her as a 2 and a 3 because she's got a nice size to be able to do just that. But we expect that she's going to be a high draft choice. And in fact, they called her and were saying to her that she could have been drafted, I think, third or fourth, or second or third last year, if she had gone out. If she had gone into the WNBA. So we're glad that she's back with us.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Coach, we're going to take a couple more here. We're going to go to Charles Hellman.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Coach. I hope you hear me.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in, I'm in Minnesota, as always.
Oh, okay. How have you been?
I hope everything is safe with you and your family.
Yeah, me and you too. Thank you.
Congratulations to your milestones and your Hall of Fame. I want to ask you just a simple question, a non-basketball question. The SEC has added a seventh black female coach with the Kentucky, promoting the interim coach to Kentucky yesterday. And there seems to be a number of black females being hired over the off season as head coaches, but we still doesn't have a whole lot more. You've already speak on that subject about moving, being able to do that. Could you express your opinion on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, can you help me? Can you help me for a second? You said the SEC has a lot of black females.
They have 7 now.
Okay. And that's when the coach from Kentucky.
Right.
Yes, when the coach from Kentucky is no longer coaching, Kyra Elsie, who used to play at Tennessee. Yeah, and then and as you may know, he was an assistant coach at Tennessee as well, and so he got Kyra, and then I understand that he's gotten sick or had an accident of sorts, and now he is no longer coaching. So that goes back to Kyra. But yes, it's quite a few. But now, are you asking me what do I think about that?
Just in terms of just the growing number of black females being hired as coaches, it seemed like there's this off season, but there's still not that many more.
Well, I think that's happening in the that's happening in the SEC. It's kind of interesting because the SEC didn't have any minority coaches, and then there's been an influx, and I hate to say this, but I think that to some extent it probably is because at one time, let's go like this. At one time, the guy at Ole Miss, Bear Bryant, didn't have black players, and then when he, got beat up by USC, and he said, "Well, hey, we're gonna change this. We're not gonna do that." And in fact, I talked to my friend Pat Summit one time, and she was saying that she was pointing out specific coaches, and she was saying that those coaches weren't as sharp as they needed to be, but they're going to win because they have the talent. So with that said, then I guess the athletic directors and everybody else figured out, okay, long story short is let's get some talent in here, because as long as we got the talent, then we have a chance of winning. And so the SEC is loaded, and they have a lot of minority coaches, but they have a lot of talent there as well. A lot of talent.
We're going to take one final question. We're going to go back to James Cratch.
Hey, Vivian, I know obviously everything's kind of changed with the coronavirus. You're going into the last year of your contract. I assume you want to come back next year. Do you expect that that'll kind of be taken care of pretty soon?
Yeah, it will. Pat is great. Sarah is great. I'm not worried about it at all. No, I really am not worried about it. And yes, I'm coming back. So we're gonna do some great things. We're doing a lot of great things. I can promise you that.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined the call. We're going to hop over into the player breakout rooms. So you should have that link in that same email I sent around. So hop in there. We could all chat on the screen here and let me know who you want to, or we could use the chat room. The way we'll get you to where you want to be. Coach, one more time joining us, and if you want to say goodbye, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And please, I hope and pray that you can come to some of our games. And maybe this thing we can get a vaccine and stop all of this mess. and get real fans out there and do what we need to do. But please be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe. And hopefully none of the kids will get hurt with this COVID. Thank you.